Hey everybody, this is Drew.
And this is Blaine.
And you're listening to the Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Controllers podcast.
Hey everybody, welcome to episode 146. Before we get to the goodies, we're just going to go ahead and shoot through our social media, internet presence, preamble, whatever you want to call it. First and foremost, you can always search for us on all the social media platforms, just searching the name of this awesome podcast. Wham bam, thank you ma'am. You can keep track of our comings and goings. Yeah. Primarily, the most important thing is our Twitch, which we tend to do every Wednesday starting at around 9:30 Central to midnight, if the game lets us. Yeah. Sometimes we're having issues with, I guess, servers shutting down or something. I'm not really sure with the current game we're playing.
Mm-hmm. For current game, we wrapped up.
Yeah, we actually we did just wrap it up. But we do those Twitch streams with our podcast editor / cousin Brian. You know, come hang out on those. That also gives you a preview of what's to come on
those podcasts.
On those podcasts, yeah. The previous one we just did was for Diablo 2.
Yeah, and more about Diablo, other games in that genre more than it was about Diablo 2.
Yes, very true. Please check us out. That is twitch.tv / Two Smoking Controllers. We do, slightly more recently, have a YouTube channel that we've been working on. There are games that we've tried for, which we will talk about eventually, games that we have tried for our co-op endeavors. Yeah. Maybe only lasted 1-2 nights. A couple of those are up there. You can kind of check that out, preview that. We do have 2 full playthroughs. I have a RoboCop Road City playthrough, and then there is Drew's playthrough of Preamble,
the Mountain King.
And then, as of this record, I have started the first episode of a Friday Night Magic thing that I was doing. I was going through all the campaigns.
Which Magic game was that?
I tried to do the first one, but there was some wonky thing with it being transferred to the next gen where the AI was messed up and the AI would only play lands and nothing else. Yeah. And so I ended up scrapping that one. I had to go to the next one, which is the Magic the Gathering 2012. Mm-hmm. I'm starting
a massive campaign. Apparently,
it's actually quite large, and the fact that AI cheats or magically draws the perfect card, and I've had some issues. But as of this record, the first episode of that should be out, and then come next Friday, I don't care how long it takes. I usually do them about like an hour and a half, but no matter how long next week, I only have 2 matches.
Right, so as a recording, when this comes out, you have already done that, by the way, just so you know. Think of the timeline. Yeah. Don't want to get into the weeds on that, but when this comes out, you should have already come. You're right. You could say it what you intended, but when this comes out, it should have already happened, probably.
Being a time traveler is complicated. It's timey-wimey stuff, guys. But hopefully my next record of that, regardless of how long it takes, I will finish it, even though it's 2 matches, but
it could take a while.
The RNG sometimes just, likes to get up in my guts in not a fun way. But I'll get that taken care of and get that, and I have a couple of those already scheduled to be posted, but I think it's going to be a total of like 12 videos, I think is what it's going to be.
Like that, yeah. Maybe the biggest thing on there now is maybe our with Brian, our entire Dark Souls one.
Yeah, it's like 20 or 21. I'm not sure if they're all out yet.
But it's massive, of course, because it's a gigantic game, so there's a massive playthrough of Dark Souls 1 on there, all through Brian's perspective, since it was his first time playing Dark Souls.
Mm-hmm. But with all that being said, of course, we do have a Patreon, which we thank everyone who's on that for helping us maintain all this stuff and, buy Brian a birthday card.
A cheap one.
A very cheap one, not even a Hallmark.
There's an off-brand.
Yeah, the off-brand, the Mark Halls. But besides all that, you can keep, If you don't want to try to remember any of this, just click the show more and check out all the show notes. And besides the Patreon, we do have a store that you can buy cool t-shirts, mouse pads, and stuff like that.
Hopefully it's working. Our mom was trying to purchase something and it wouldn't let her.
So we'll have to get that at another date and time. But yeah, let's get to it.
We mentioned we had somebody. We went to a thing with our family recently, and there was a person we didn't know there, one of our mom's friends, and she recognized me and you from our mom wearing the shirt.
Really?
Yeah, that lady.
I was there watching the kids.
I ain't gonna say her name, but yeah, one of mama's friends recognized me and you. She's like, I recognize you. You and your brother from that shirt. I was like, oh, that's weird.
That's strange.
Anyway, that's funny.
Not everyone has a supportive mother. So thank you.
I was trying.
Yeah. With like I said, that being said, it's time for us to jump into our game. The game we're going to be talking about on this episode 146 is Wild Arms Second Ignition, aka Wild Arms 2.
Probably just played one of the more, maybe you played one of the more.
It's probably got the intro, like from that opening animation.
The open animation.
The splash animation.
Yeah, the splash animation. There's a really famous, that song is probably more well known than the game is.
Oh, yeah.
People love that freaking Wild Arms theme right there. That's probably the one that just.
It's just the.
Although the soundtrack's great for the whole game, but people specifically, that's what, I like the whistling in the Wild Arms games. But that's probably what just played. Like if Brian Googled Wild Arms 2, it'd been the first thing that come up.
It better, or else. All right. But like I said, that being said, we're going to be talking about Wild Arms 2.
This is our ongoing. We're breaking up, so the podcast isn't just a Wild Arms podcast. There are going to be episodes we are playing through. We're trying to focus on big franchises of RPGs or PlayStation, or just is it all PlayStation era RPGs? And PlayStation 2 all at the same time, like across a couple of months. It's taking longer than that because we play so many other games, but you've already heard us do. Now originally when like Wild Arms 1 was on the like episode 1 or 2 of the podcast, that was a million years ago. Recently when we did Alter Code F and Wild Arms 1, that was us trying to reignite this franchise to get it moving forward again. Gives us an excuse too to keep our minds focused, to keep coming back to these games. Otherwise we trail off into the weeds. But we are trying to do like we just did As Your Dreams as like an in-between, so we're not just playing Wild Arms games. So there's going to be like a Wild Arms episode and then some other games and then some other RPG and then another Wild Arms episode. It's kind of the plan. It's loosely planned, but this is Wild Arms 2, and I'm going to start playing Wild Arms 3 in the next couple of weeks probably. I will start Wild Arms 3.
Gotta finish the game we're on, and then
yeah. So there's gonna be more Wild Arms. There's Wild Arms. If you don't know, there's Wild Arms 3, 4, 5, and then there is a it's not Vita, so it's probably a PSP game. XF, is that what it's called?
I think so. Yeah.
Wild Arms XF, which we've never played. We've actually never played Wild Arms 5 or XF, so those will both be new.
I owned XF on the PS.
Did you play it a little bit back in the day?
It was like the hexagonal grid
game.
Okay,
so you dabbled many years ago.
Yeah, but
it'll be new because we played 4. I don't know if I ever beat 4, but but I mean like 4, 5, and then XF will be kind of cool to kind of tie the bow on the series as a whole. And hoping the games I don't know. We'll see. Let's talk about this one. We can kind of see where our mind is, our thoughts are on Wild Arms as a series so far, with Wild Arms 1 and Alter Code F, and now Wild Arms 2.
Wild Arms 2 was developed by a company called Media Vision. They've been around since March 1st of 93. They have currently 155 employees.
Hold on. So Media Vision, they did Wild Arms 1, Alter Code F, and then they did some other games we've talked about. Is there like
you've done 32 other games?
Because I know we always talk about the developer, but I don't want to tread over the same ground. I just thought about that, tread over the same ground every time we talk. Because I don't think they did all the Wild Arms games, did they?
No, not that I'm aware of.
I think they got away from the franchise. This is probably why there's a drastic change in the franchise. Mm-hmm. But I don't know if there's like super new stuff to say. But are we treading? Not people ain't gonna remember anyway. Honestly, are we treading kind of the same ground? Because I know we've talked about them multiple times actually, because we've played some other games outside of Wild Arms, even on the podcast.
Well, they're actually responsible for all Wild Arms.
All of them. So they did the
1 through 5 and AF.
Oh, nice. That's good.
Mm-hmm. And then a couple other things. So we have spoken about them before, so I'm going to try to my best to not like retread the ground. But I can't
remember what we said last time.
Yeah, but because we also weren't like doing. Well, I think we were doing deep dives, but maybe not
as much. Yeah, because I feel like what's that one game we played? Shining Force, Shining Force, Resonance Refrain. Isn't that Media Vision?
Yeah,
that's one of the random ones they
Shining
did.
Resonance.
Shining Resonance Refrain. It's technically in the
Shining Resonance is them. Shining Resonance Refrain was the remake done by somebody else.
It's a loose,
but it's still
it's like added a handful of content.
Yeah, just like regardless. We've spoken about them before. Media Vision. Episode 1, Wild Arms 1. Episode 4 was Summon Night 6. Episode 27 was Shining Resonance. Episode 45 was a Gamefly episode, but I did Valkyria Revolutions. And then more recently was episode 129. We did Alter Code F. We've spoken about them a couple of times.
Recurring developer.
They do off-brands of The Shining. There's Shining Blade, Shining Arc, Shining Resonance. They've done a couple of those. As well as Valkyria Chronicles 3.
Are those part of the actual Shining Force? Like that's adjacent to the Shining Force series?
My understanding, yeah. Okay. They're just
like an offshoot.
Yeah. But one of the other things they're responsible for something called Chaos Rings, which was a Square Enix game. There's Chaos Rings.
That's supposedly a really, really, really good mobile only.
I think it's mobile only.
Yeah, so we'll never play it. Like something like that was like that should have been ported to consoles or something.
Yeah, I'm surprised it hasn't been, but it is, who knows. But like I said, they do have Valkyria stuff, Valkyria Chronicles Remastered, Valkyria Revelations, Valkyria Chronicles 4, and then something called the 100 line, because these are both 2025 coming out. The 100 line Last Defense Academy, which is a tactical visual novel, which has me worried. It seems to be only on the Switch and Windows. But they also are responsible for another more recent franchise, which I'm not going to talk about now because I'm going to save this little hint for what I'm going to talk about here later. It's actually one of the games that they're putting out later on this year that I'm kind of excited for. I do want to.
So they did the new. So they did the new one.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
So they're responsible for that one. So I'll talk.
It's weird. We're talking about Wild Arms and stuff while this company is like kind of
going through
going strong.
Well, they've had a rough pot because Valkyria Chronicles 4 was 2018. And they haven't done anything since 2018 to 2025.
So they're not responsible for the other. We're dancing around it. So our next episode is going to be we got our next episode's plans. The next episode is a different game. The episode after that is a franchise episode, a different franchise that what Blake's hinting at, because we're going to talk about a new game coming out.
And it's like in earnest.
And and then our history of this particular franchise is what's so I know it sounds weird and we're talking behind the curtain of what we're planning here. We're not doing it next. We're trying to break up the same thing. The genre stuff because it's a similar. Because otherwise we'll be talking about the same developer on top of each other.
Yeah.
Y'all don't care about that. Me and Blake care because we're trying to sort the episodes out so they're not samey.
But yeah, so slight hint of what might be to come. I'm more excited about it. I don't let than other people are.
I think in our little corner of the world, there's a lot of excitement behind it.
Yeah. But besides all that vague, illusion, it is published by Sony Computer Entertainment, which they've been around since '93, and that's too much to get into. They were rebranded to Sony Interactive Entertainment, and so that just goes on to go buck wild with. But that kind of covers it for the developer. We have already spoken about them before. I'm not going to go too far in detail of their history.
It's crazy they're still around. It's crazy and awesome they're still around.
I love it. Yeah. Well, the crazy thing too,
I wish they would make a new Wild Arms because the little spiritual success. I guess that team's not there because that team is trying to get Armed Fantasia off the ground.
Yeah, yes, you're not wrong there. But one of the really, really cool things about them, I'll just say this and I'll move on off the developer, is because of when they started. They started in March of '93, like I said previously. And their parent company or whatever is the Sony Interactive. Well, actually, it's Japan Studio. And then Sony Interactive, and it says since they all started around the same, like they started in the same year, and it says that they were the first, was one of the first companies to develop games for the PlayStation itself. They were like the first 5 companies to ever make a game for the PlayStation because of their close relationship with the company, and when they all started together, they're friends helping each other out in the industry to try to get started and stuff like that. So I think that's kind of cool. But let's get to it. Our handy dandy Wall Arms 2, which is turn-based JRPG, and it has like the previous iterations. I think all iterations of Wall Arms. It is a Western, or it's a sci-fi Western.
Yeah, and this does, we'll say at the beginning of it, because this is still pretty early in the franchise, Wild Arms is similar to Final Fantasy, only in that the games are not connected necessarily. They're like the biggest maybe reference is they're all in Filgaia, I guess. They're all in the same world, but like there's no crossover of characters. There's no crossover of places you go to.
Not necessarily. There is subtle hints for things if you're a fan to look out for, but it doesn't.
I think those are more nods than they are. Game is in the same world, kind of stuff. Technically, like it's like a Final Fantasy. Each Wild Arms is a completely standalone.
Yeah, you don't have to have previous.
Yeah, you can play them backwards if you want to. It won't matter. We did do Alter Code F before this, just because we'd already did Wild Arms 1. We figured we might as well start with the first game, the remake of the first game, because technically Wild Arms 2 would have come out before Alter Code F because it's a PlayStation game. Alter Code F, was it before Wild Arms 3? I don't remember.
I think it went Alter Code F, then 3.
Then 3, okay. So after this, we'll be back in kind of release order again.
I think 3 looks a little better.
Possible. No, I mean, Alter Code F is not a bad looking game. But anyway, so now we're back on track. This is the last one that's on PlayStation, and then from here forward it'll be PS2, and ending on the PSP for the last one.
So Wild Arms 2 originally came out in Japan was September 2nd, 1999. It was released in America after its translation, which was May 2nd of 2000.
It's pretty good. You had a pretty good distance away from Final Fantasy 7. Probably closer to coming around Final Fantasy 8 at the time, actually.
No, I'll get to that here in just a second.
Yeah. Crushed its sales probably.
Oh no, it wasn't that necessarily. From my understanding, it was received fairly well, but the things that people seemed to dig into it the most was like at the time that it came out, compared to the other games that are coming out at the exact same time. The visuals, people complained about the visual splendor. Like it was almost made for PS1 and then got ported to PS2 and stuff like that. As people were complaining about that.
Was it a PS1 game? What are you talking about? What are they?
I don't. Oh, it was. Maybe I missed.
Wild Arms 2 is a PS1.
It was a PS1 game. Okay. Well, what it is the other games that came out around that exact same time. Because this is. In America, these were all American reviews. None of these were Japan reviews. But in American reviews, the biggest complaint was the visual splendor. They're like, "Oh, it's a great game, but it doesn't look like anything that it could be." Because literally, other games that came out the exact same year, maybe some later on in the year, mind you. Now these range and across genre, but I tried to stick with RPGs so that we could kind of compare. In the year 2000, the other RPGs that were released in America were Chrono Cross, Final Fantasy IX, Grandia 2.
9?
9.
So 8 was already out?
8 was already out. We were on Final Fantasy 9. Vagrant Story, Skies of Arcadia. All those look...
All those games look leagues. I mean, graphics and everything, but like all these games look leagues better than Wild Arms 2.
Yeah, and they were the same year.
Yeah.
But then some other games that aren't RPGs...
Skies of Arcadia came out around the same time?
All in the year 2000.
No wonder that game was a trip. That game's... I don't know how well it holds up, but like I know it's beloved and people can't get their hands on it no more.
And Chrono Cross was the first thing I said too.
Yeah, Chrono Cross is a visual splendor. Yeah.
And some other games that aren't RPGs. We had Majora's Mask, Shenmue, Diablo 2, Resident Evil Code Veronica, Paper Mario, and the Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver.
Yeah, it's surrounded by games that, and people are quick.
And Pokemon Yellow.
Pokemon.
It's
people,
RPG.
not Pokemon.
Sorry.
People are. I mean, say what you will. People will look at a game and not play it based off the way it looks.
It's got a distinct art style. It's not a bad art style, and it is a large game. Honestly, and compared to all these other
size wise, the only thing 9 would be bigger by a large scale. 9, other than that, This game's bigger than Chrono Cross, size-wise.
Yeah.
You haven't played Chrono Cross. I've dabbled in Chrono Cross recently. Chrono Cross isn't very big. It's layered.
It's layered, but they have like the pre-rendered backgrounds and stuff that help the...
Yeah. Graphically, all Chrono Cross looks leagues better than this. You wouldn't even think it's the same platform.
Yeah.
But size-wise, I mean, you say scale and takes time and stuff like that. So it is the larger. I mean, the only thing bigger I say would be 9. Well, obviously 9 at the time. Vagrant Story and stuff like that they're not very big games. But yeah, I hadn't really thought about what came out around the same time. Skies of Arcadia is pretty big, actually.
That's something I might need to try to start doing, is just do a couple of things that came out within the same year. I think that'll be kind of fun and it's always cool to go in.
War Arms 2 is a little buried.
Yeah.
In general, people would have been playing. I thought 8. People would have been definitely playing Final Fantasy 9. Vagrant Story is very obscure. People don't know it as much. Chrono Cross would have been a big deal at the time. So I could see it being buried. I don't know if Skies of Arcadia was a hit when it come out. It's like now it's sort of like a cult, like
a cult
and
classic.
it's more famous now for being expensive than it is being a good. Nobody ever talked about how good of a game it is. Like, oh,
we own it, don't we?
No.
I know we did.
Oh, we did.
We owned a lot of things.
You can't get it for anything less than $300 now, probably. Mm-hmm. Stupidly, but anyway.
But like, besides that, people saying that like it lacks the visual splendor, all the other reviews, like I said, it is rated high. It's like 7s, 8s, 6, 7s, and 8s, and they're all like, oh, it's a classic RPG style where it's character building and gameplay, character building is part of the gameplay and stuff like that, but they're like, it doesn't bring anything new to the genre, but it is still worth every minute that you play it and stuff like that. People still liked it, but they're like, other games look better.
Yeah, and we'll talk about too, it has these other games, like we talk about off the pod that Wild Arms, at least 1 Ultra Code F and 2, as far as we've played, the games are like 80% puzzle games and then like 20% RPG. Like, there's a lot of fighting and a lot of RPGs, but like there's not another RPG franchise like that's a straight turn-based franchise that has
every dungeon is a puzzle.
Every dungeon's a puzzle. Such a focus on solving, like a massive focus on solving puzzles is part of the game. So that is something unique. It does have. I feel like that the other games around at the time would not have had.
Because it does just like in the previous iterations, it does heavily rely on the tool system, which do you want to kind of talk about that a little bit? Go ahead and just talk about some of the tools.
Okay, you can talk about the characters and their tools if you want to, yeah.
So I'll real quick, I'll just boom.
There's more characters than, because Ultra Code F, I guess, had extra characters.
Yeah.
This has the initial 3 and then 3 more on top. It's I wish they would stay focused. I think Wild Arms 3 has the 4 characters only. I don't know after Wild Arms 3, but I kind of like the Wild Arms 1 where there's just these 3 heroes that you focus on.
Yeah. Sometimes having too many, but a lot of RPGs have that because they know people
at
like.
At the same time, Final Fantasy 9 had for the
like 8 or 9
four characters in combat.
Yeah, and you could have. I think there's about 8 or 9 people you can recruit still. So we have Ashley, then we have Brad, Lilka, Tim, Cannon, and Marvel. Mm-hmm. And Marvel is a completely optional character that you can just miss. Mm-hmm. If you don't know, you can just completely...
Does Cannon join you in the story? I don't remember.
Cannon joins you in the story, yeah. But so, like I said, everyone has tools. Now, I think I talked about it a little bit in like Ultra Code F, where everyone had like 5 tools. It was like too many stuff that they added with the additional content and stuff like that. They 3, and which is still a little bit, but there are 3 tools per character. Ashley has Hurl Knife, Booty Call, and Flare Gun. Mm-hmm. Flare Gun it's
only useful for fighting bosses.
I think so.
It has no other use besides fighting hidden bosses. Booty Call does exactly what you think it does. It finds nearby women he can sleep with.
Exactly. With just a quick swipe. Like they were using Tinder before it was even a thing. Yeah. It also reveals hidden walkways and stuff like that, and treasure.
We had a guide, so we weren't booty calling.
Yeah, because like just Wild Arms 2, like much classic
radar
RPGs. If you like walk around town and you just randomly clicking A like on a barrel or a potted plant, you're like, oh, here's a potion, here's an item. Booty Call will highlight everything on the screen. Yeah. And then every map you just do it and it'll put a little.
Well, say Wild Arms 1 Ultra Code had Rudy's radar.
Exactly.
So it's very similar.
And then Hurl Knife is literally you just chuck a knife.
Yeah. The most we're not going to go into detail of all of these, but well, we kind of, a little bit, like I said, flare gun, literally for fighting hidden bosses. That's all it does. Booty call. Hurl knife does what you think it does. It's for hitting switches. The only ever unique way you use this one, and I thought was kind of neat, was a slight bit of physics. There was like one time I think in the game where a switch is below you and you hit the knife and it hits the wall and falls down and hits the switch. That's pretty cool.
And I think only one time
that'd be like in a modern game for sure, something like that. In like throwing something and it falling, but like having the I don't know. I don't know. Is there physics in this game because of how the game's designed? But like that hit and the fall, it hit the switch.
With being precise. Well, sometimes you have to be real precise with some of the things, but I think the precision was as long as you hit that pillar, it was guaranteed to hit the button.
Yeah, but
because the button was the same size as the pillar.
Yeah, but trying to think about that, like my knife's gonna actually still fall down to hit something. It's kind of cool.
I think in the tutorial of like the tutorial dungeon where you use the knife.
That might be in the tutorial.
No, in the tutorial you use the knife to distract somebody,
which you never do again.
Which you would never ever do again, because every time you go into
that's misleading.
Yeah, you go into like abandoned, churches and mountain towns and stuff like that and people don't exist in. And if someone's there, you're like, we're there to kill people. We're not trying to sneak out. But in this whole like opening mission,
is that the one where you knife the thing and it falls on the guy's head and kills him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you have Brad's, which are kick, a bomb, and earthquake.
Yeah, these are fairly similar.
Yeah, kick is just you kick things, you kick boxes, you kick. Every now and again,
kick down some doors.
Kick down some doors, or you'll kick a pillar and it'll create a bridge and stuff like that. Or kick a tree and it'll create a bridge. Bomb, it's really just kick, but it
Rudy had bombs in Wild Arms 1.
Mm-hmm. And then earthquake, I found earthquake annoying, and it was like a tactical thing.
It's one of the worst kind of puzzles. Like hit the earthquake and stuff starts falling, and you have to run across it.
Yeah,
not fun.
Yeah, I hated.
I think I warned you about one of those in one of the later dungeons. I think the dungeon where you get earthquake,
you have to like.
Is a really irritating puzzle.
That's another thing too. Is sometimes one of the I think with all of these they're actually used kind of.
Maybe sometimes they're used in the dungeon you get them and that's it.
And that's it.
Yeah, that's the thing that kind of just happens.
Then Lilka, she has Fireball, Ice Wand, and Change Rod. Now those are very similar to the Selena's from Ultra Code F and 1.
Fireball is so much worse than Flamethrower.
Oh yeah, Fireball compared to Flamethrower is awful because you have to be more precise, and sometimes you got to blind fire.
It's the worst puzzle. Hers is the worst puzzles. Like the Flamethrower was a constant flame. Say you got to light a bunch of torches in Wild Arms 1, you just spin her and fire comes out and lights torches. Lilica is a single fireball that you have to like stand in a certain spot and you got to light them in their time. They're like the worst puzzles in the game are the fireball puzzles.
Luckily, like I said, because we're babies, we followed a guide on game.
You still have to be perfect.
Oh yeah, you still have to really aim. And then the Ice Wand is the same thing, but with ice. You like freeze spouts of water and you turn it into an ice block and you move the ice block to finish puzzles and a couple other things.
Yeah, no trouble there.
The Change Rod turned those little gems.
Mm-hmm. They heal you.
The gems that heal you, and it would
change them into platforms, and vice versa. Change these platforms into the little coins, little gems.
Yeah,
they heal you,
and that was it.
Yeah, this is the one. Beside, you might see this one more often than the other ones. These gems, because the gems are everywhere. They're not always used for puzzles, but like if you, I don't know, you see a lot of this one.
And then we have Tim and his Puka, which is a little animal companion he has, and it's basically the same thing as the mouse from 1 and Ultra Code F, but you have instead of shoot, because in Wild Arms 1 and Ultra Code F, you had slight control. You could veer the mouse left or veer the mouse right. When this one, you activate it, and then you have like a
full control of a square.
Full control within like an area of effect, which will also allow us to pick up items and trigger switches and stuff like that. Then you have Airburst, which is him. A lot of his were only used. Oh no, I was gonna say a lot of his were only used in like some of the special dungeons. I think.
Yeah.
It felt like because Airburst let him turn into a.
This is the jump.
No. Airburst was he would shoot a blast of air, and it was very similar to like Fireball and stuff like that. It would, but it had like a longer range, and you would use it to hit buttons, and you could also use it to like trigger fans and stuff like that, which would like cause a generator to go, make platforms fall. So that would shoot like a little air blast. And then the Mist Cloak, which is what I was getting confused in my head. The Mist Cloak lets him turn. Maybe he takes like 2 steps forward, and he's like intangible.
It was used to cross a couple of gaps and get through like 2 fences.
Yeah, some fences.
There's like 2 fences in the whole game, maybe 3 that he has to cross over. It's very, very limited use.
Mm-hmm. And then you have Cannon. She has wire hook, which is the grapple hook that Jack that used? Yeah, Jack used the grapple hook in the first one. Then she had rad blades, which are literally just roller blades that let her go across like lava. I think it was really just lava.
That one map.
But what it does is you can't control it, and it shoots you in a straight line. And if you hit a wall, you hit something, you bounce off, and that can cause you to fall back into the environmental hazard you're trying to avoid. But you do have to use them. And then she had the jump shoes, which were the same thing as the jump boots that Jack had. I think there's a slight difference, but it's not.
Yeah, they're used for something else, I feel like. But yeah, very limited.
Very limited.
All of them, that's because there's so many of them that they can't build whole things around them in the last one.
And then the final person, who is a completely optional character, who all of her moves are entirely optional, because they only trigger optional content. She has the Electel, the Wind-Up Key, and My Mic. The Electel is used like 3 times in the game. You shoot an electric panel that has a lightning bolt on it, and then it travels current through the thing and will open up a secret door. Mm-hmm. There's like 3 of those.
I think her microphone's what triggers hidden. So I
think microphone triggers the bosses.
So
flare gun just
triggered like literally one boss. Because you get the flare gun in the last dungeon, and you have to leave the last dungeon to go fight that one on that the pirate boss.
I think so.
You use flare gun twice in the whole game.
Well, flare gun lights up an area like in darkness.
I don't remember doing that at all. I think you literally use it once in the final dungeon, and once you have to leave to go fight that one boss. So the microphone is what you go stand in front of the triangles.
Diamonds, yeah.
Yeah, you use that to fight the hidden bosses.
Pyramids.
Little spinning pyramids, yeah.
And then Wind-Up Key is used again. It's only in optional dungeons. And you wind up an inanimate object. I think it was like a Whomper Stomper from like Mario. Looks like one of those giant stones, and you take control of it and you move it to be a thing that you can, like, to form a bridge that you can walk across stuff.
I had a memory of that.
Yeah, I found even her character was fairly pointless.
Yeah, of course, an optional character.
Yeah,
she has some useful skills for like we'll talk about. We need to probably get into. There's a lot of combat in this game. Then we'll talk about the story last. I'll talk about the story last because. We'll say why. We'll talk about the story last in a minute. But combat wise, she had a. Did you use the skill that I told you that I mentioned that makes you immune to all status effects? There's one skill she gets that she has.
The name of that skill, but
it negates a lot of the hidden bosses because some of the hidden bosses are just
status effects.
Their whole thing is status effects, and she negates it completely.
Yeah, and just like in Alter Code F, you can freely swap out people in combat. So you start the fight with her. Have her do
whatever it's called.
It's like super booster.
She's a blue mage. She ate.
She's a vampire.
Yeah, and she eats enemies and gets a couple of their skills. Similar to Queen, I guess, of the same time frame.
Exactly.
Final Fantasy 9.
She was, and you had another blue mage, Emma, in Alter Code F, and she downloaded enemy schematics. I just wish that someone would make a blue mage that's worth something.
Yeah,
just anybody.
That's the gap in RPGs. There's not a blue mage focused there's not a Final Fantasy. There's not a lot where the blue mage is the main character and they somehow make it cool.
Because
it's never happened.
I'm not trying to poo on blue mages, but there's not any really good ones. The first ones that come to mind is obviously Quina from 9. Uh-huh. Then there's Kimari Ronso from 10.
Oh, Quistis.
And Quistis from 8. And then in 10-2, the gun mages are blue mages.
Yeah.
And then
this vampire.
And
there's blue mages in general across Final Fantasy. I guess the generic blue mages. I feel like
I think Metra Magic and enemy skill and stuff like that.
Enemy skills in Final Fantasy 7. Yeah. These things are never useful.
Because what do you call it?
They're just weaker versions of anything else you can, and every now and then there's for Marvel there is this vampire, there's that one when you had the guy, there's you need this one skill and it's all you'll ever use her for.
Yeah, that's it.
And that's it.
She's not
you don't need it. You don't need it for anything else. You have to. We had to get 5 skills for a trophy.
Yeah.
You just and there's 11 in the whole game. Mm-hmm. You don't even got to get all of them. We'll talk about the Wild Arms. The last thing we'll probably talk about is the trope with getting the platinum for this. They actually made a pretty good platinum because they don't make you do everything, which is kind of cool.
No.
We did everything. We did a lot of everything anyway. But anyway, so hers is like you get her for just this one skill. Otherwise, you don't. There's no reason to use this character
in combat. No, like I did sometimes just to try to change things up. Sometimes,
there's just no point.
Yeah, because it's really not necessary. Well, a good portion of the game actually.
You would just play with the additional 3.
Yeah. I would switch back and forth between Lilka and Tim because both Lilka and Tim are magic users, but in different ways. Lilka actually used
crest.
Yeah, she was a crest sorceress, and so she would use spells. But every single one of her spells, they were fairly powerful, but they were single hitting powerful spells. Tim had area of effect and would cast because Tim, just like in the first game. Tim is a medium, and he would communicate with the spirits of the planet.
Yeah, he learned his skills from equipping the what do you call them?
The Guardians.
The Guardians. Yeah, there we go.
You had to equip a Guardian into your accessory slot because anybody could equip the Guardian talisman.
I think it's separate from accessory. I think there's a Guardian slot under accessory.
I think you're right. Yeah. So anyone could equip them and get access to a single ability that it gives. But
and stat boosts.
And a stat boost. So Tim, when he equipped one, he had to kill, I think it was like 50. He had to be the one to kill.
Yeah.
Tim had to be the one that killed, but
it
was killed 50.
15 and 54. 15 for like a weaker single hitting, and then 50 were for an all hitting.
Yeah, for the all hitting version of the spells.
Elements were tied to the current thing. He got a wide range of spells.
Yeah. And I ended up doing that, and I trained him because there's a part later where he's entirely by himself, and the guy was like, "Yeah, now's the perfect time to do it because by the time you get to Tim, you already have encountered a couple of Guardians, and you have their talismans. It's like now's the best time to train Tim to go ahead, and since he's the only one fighting these fights, and this dungeon's designed for Tim." So he can one hit the guys. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. And so I ended up training him for a long time, and I actually mastered all the ones that I had currently, which put him on a higher level than Lilka and made him more versatile than her for a long time because they had the exact same spells because his weak version was the same thing as her weak version.
It's a different name.
It's a different name. It was like rock shot as opposed to like rock spray and fireball as opposed to fire.
Ball of fire.
Yeah,
that ain't the name.
Ain't that bad, but it was fairly similar. Lightning shot versus arc blast. They both did lightning. But I used him for a long time because
healing.
Because of healing, he had to heal one person and then to heal all people.
And the way way magic works, I forget how it works between 1 and Alter Code F, but like if the characters have FP force points that goes up. I think it goes up each turn, or you get it from attacking sometimes. But in Water Arms 2, their current FP is starts every battle equal to their level. As you level up, it goes higher and higher. If there's spells,
and every turn you recover your level.
I don't think you do.
Yeah, because it gets to a point where you can have infinite. If you're casting a weaker spells, you can have infinite MP.
I don't think you recover. I think you have to hit something to get it. Yeah, you have to.
What was it defend? It's been a minute since we played.
But regardless, say Tim's on level 10 or 15, and his basic. Same thing with Lilica. Their basic single hitting attack costs less than that. It's infinite.
Yeah.
It's the only thing that uses the FP up is the force that everybody has four or more. Everybody has four force skills.
Four
it's like
skills.
like they'll have like lock on or these we didn't go into those, but like everybody has these force skills that eat up a whole chunk, like a 25% chunk or more of their each individual. The main one we'll talk about will be Ashley's story one that he gets.
Yeah.
But anyway, as long as Tim is like casting below that threshold, then he can heal infinitely. Like he can literally there's like even some if there's like the game is not very difficult. Wild Arms 2 is known for being fairly easy, and you can kind of break it a little bit too. But at a certain point, when Tim hits the threshold of like he can cast his team healing spell every turn at pretty much no cost to anybody. He can do that while the other two fighters are attacking, and he just keeps healing. And like you're basically invincible, like because that's what he can do. That's because Lilica doesn't get an all heal until later.
Much later, yeah.
Yeah.
I have if you care, I do have a list of the force abilities and stuff like that too.
I don't want to do that again because we just did that with they're all
the main thing is, like I said, Ashley's story-based one, which is called Access, which allows him to trigger...
Let's talk about that one, because he gets an ability, which was... it's pretty cool. It's kind of talked about a lot, and then not talked about enough at the same time. What it is, and it's kind of like the focus of the story for a while. Then they kind of forget about it, and it kind of becomes the last boss.
Yeah,
like it's kind of like I don't know. It's kind of, and like Canon's whole reason for following you around is because of that.
Yeah,
you know. So early in the game, Ashley gets pretty much possessed by a demon, and he's able to access. That's why it's called Access. That's why you access these abilities. That really
just triggered.
Just
clicked
in my head. Why I was like, why is it called Access? And here I am talking out loud. He's able to access that ability within himself to transform into this demon guy, which is Lord Blazer, which doesn't have anywhere near enough plot to really talk about, because spoilers, it becomes the last boss. Basically is what you end up fighting him in the end, as Ashley gets some other ability of hope and friendship at the end. It's pretty cool, man. I remember loving this stuff when we were kids, because he basically turns in, I don't know, kind of a Power Ranger, but he kind of like, it's cool. What's cool about it, and Brian can probably find the song while we're talking about it. Sorry to give you homework. When Rudy does access, Ashley, gosh. When Ashley does access, he transforms, and this has its own. It changes the battle music.
If there's a boss theme, it
overrides whatever music is playing. This overrides it, and this becomes like the Lord. I don't know if it's called the Lord. Maybe I'll look it up.
Maybe it's called Blazer theme. We'll try to find it.
We'll try to find it. Like the cool stuff that kind of like when you're a kid, like gives you chills, like the first time you see it, and like the screen fades and Ashley changes form and the music changes, and you're like, holy, this is awesome. And he's super like basically completely invincible, and you can coast the whole game on Access. You literally can coast the whole game on Access, because it's not hard. It takes his whole. You got to build his. Ashley has to attack a couple of turns, get his FP to 100, and he accesses the whole bar away.
As you progress through the game, and your level goes up, it gets easier to attack.
Easier and easier and easier. But like by the time you hit Access, you turn it to him, and he has his own set of skills and stuff like that. It restores status effects. He has more HP, higher defense, faster speed. Like it's a game breaking thing built into the game that you can literally. I don't know if it's supposed to be like it's maybe why you end up fighting him, because I imagine most folks coast the whole game on Access.
Yeah,
because it's just the thing to do at a boss fight. Like you have other people doing their attacks and stuff, but you're really just waiting until Ashley gets his FP to 100 to hit Access and switch to those cool skills. That guy uses like lightsabers and massive fireballs and all kinds of cool stuff, but you can't overstate the fact that it has its own theme song in a game that has a really good soundtrack and has a really cool song that kicks in, and it's like a cool moment. It almost never gets old, because you're kind of like anticipating it and kind of waiting for it every time you fight a boss.
And speaking of bosses have some. I
love this. What you're talking about? Bosses.
I think they had them in other games, but I really liked it, and Wild Arms too, because you get like the special boss music. Sometimes some of the bosses have a particular boss theme behind them, but you have this it's what do you call it? I think it's black on red, so it's a solid red background, and then the silhouette of the monster, of the boss or whatever, in just like hard black,
and
flies across the screen like some bold big white letters. It just says the monster's name, and then it
intros each boss,
and then it just kind of like do, and then like the color fades, and
it shatters, and you go to the boss fight. I love having cool, and that's a staple only in Wild Arms 2, I think, of these boss intros. It's really cool, and
I wish more especially RPG, especially modern RPGs.
Put emphasis on the bosses, you know, and kind of it knows you're fighting something that's. I said Wild Arms 2 is easy, but it's cool to have these intro for some of these cool looking bosses and stuff like that. You're like getting into a serious, kind of like it's like I'm getting into a serious fight. I gotta pay attention to war now. You know, it's just like it's cool that they kind of. And I've only ever seen it in this game. I don't think that it's in the other Wild Arms games. It's only in this one, and I kind of wish it kind of stuck around. It's a cool, like a visual flair that I really appreciate, and I like a lot. And then you beat the crap out of the boss; it doesn't matter.
Usually, yeah. Sometimes because the game can be broken.
Not like how. Not if y'all remember for reference back to my Wild Arms 1 playthrough, you could item dupe. Not like that. This game has like built-in.
This game has a built-in. Skills, and every time you level up,
Wild Arms Ultra Code F had skills,
but they were they were a skill, and you could just equip the skill.
Yeah,
and this is a little different because everyone has a list of skills to pick from, and you can customize your character's build. So there's no point in your magic users having physical attack damage. There's no point. Boost, physical attack boost and stuff like that. And so just so everyone's aware, if you do happen to play through Wild Arms 2.
Recommend, easily accessible. It's on PS4 and PS5 now.
And it's $10 on PSN.
Yeah.
And it now 1 and 2 come with trophy support, so it gives you a little extra something to do.
Oh god, and that glorious rewind falling off something when you're sprinting somewhere and you fall off the side. I'm gonna rewind that.
I just click rewind and back up instead of reloading back. Yeah, the rewind feature helps. The rewind feature also helped me in a couple of like bosses,
because if you rewind the turn, something that kills might not kill, because there's a couple of instant death bosses or enemies that have instant death skills. If you rewind the turn, that you reset the chance.
I'm cheating. Whatever, you're a loser, not a real gamer.
Emulator, whatever.
I don't care. I had fun, and I don't care what you think. I have fun. But that because the main thing, the first main thing that everyone needs to learn is it's like HP up.
Yeah. Oh, if you Google Wild Arms 2, and skills, every article, every post, everything is get HP boost immediately.
Yeah.
Because it's the only skill that is better the earlier you get it. Because what it does, it's boosting the amount of HP.
All of them are better the earlier you get them, because it increases the output that gets, the percentage output.
I think if you look at it, I think it's only the HP, because I think the other ones are set.
Oh, okay.
This one's actually, what it does is it increases the amount of HP you get from a level up. The earlier you get it, the more it pays off in the long run. And that's the one everybody will tell you, for every character, to hunt that down immediately. The first town you walk into, you get it immediately, and then you have more HP than you would have ever had.
Oh yeah.
I think that since it's not mentioned, everything that I read, because I wanted the best builds, whatever I could find. Everything I says HP. Nothing. Nobody else mentioned like I think the strength and defense ones. I think those are maybe hard. Those are maybe hard numbers.
Yeah.
I mean, 1 or 2 defense boosts, and we'll talk about now between physical and magic defense. Those boosts almost immediately make your characters immune to all damage.
They're significant.
It's like you're completely immune. And between Lilica and Tim, their magic defense is so high that it doesn't they get danger sometimes, but so you would switch into the physical defense skills.
But everything that I read said the first thing you will do is HP for all characters and both defenses. Even if you're magic, you should go ahead and do both, because it will get to a point which this is some of the stuff that I love. Where you'll fight a boss and the boss will be like, their signature move, Tower of Flame or something, and it'll shoot a massive column of fire and it'll hit one of your characters and it'll just be like 0. You're like, yes. When an enemy hits me for 0,
that's like more than a miss.
Yeah, that's
0 feels better than a miss.
It does. Now, if I could have a character that's would even absorb an ability, that's even cool.
I think 0 is more fun than absorb.
Yeah, honestly, being hit for 0 is better than a miss and better than absorption, I think. Because especially when it's their big attack and you're just I feel that's the power fantasy.
Yeah, the anime.
That's the power fantasy of a JRPG.
Somebody still standing there after a command, man.
And they're just kind of like, is that it?
And then, now granted, there's a lot of that comes in Wild Arms too, because you get overpowered relatively quickly
if you do it right, because there's a lot of options, a lot of things to pique
skills.
Your interest, like becoming immune to certain status effects, boosting your attack.
Because you're given the whole list of skills
from the get go,
and the points you have is your levels.
I think it's 1 point, 2 point, and 3 point.
Yeah, but you get a point for every. You get a point for every level up.
So it takes 6 levels to master some of these skills. Mm-hmm. And the issue is, like I said, the earlier the better. And so with Ashley and Lilka and most of your other, actually every other part of me, you get almost immediate access to a skill shop. Brad, however, his prologue, he's on the run. So like you want to try to get through Brad's without leveling up.
It's too hard.
It can be difficult.
Yeah.
But like his is the one that's trickiest because you want to try to get through with the least amount of levels as possible. Because you want to be able to,
Brad has so much HP anyway.
Yeah, by the end of it. And so you can break the game. Like it's built into the game to have like these game breaking things. And once you get further in the game, of course, there's like increased magic damage for your magic users, increased physical damage for your physical users. Then for your magic users,
countering for your physical for your physical fighters.
There's upping the counter rate. There is, like I said, immune to every. It's like 15%. No, it's like 25%, 50%, and then like 75% of. It might be 100.
Might be full.
Might be full. Yeah, once you maxed it out. And then some of the other ones are. There's 2 that it talked about. Like you want to get them late game. There is one that it says whenever you tier up your force, whenever you go to tier level or force level 1, 2, 3, every time you up a force tier, you get a temporary boost for the fight for all your stats.
Yeah, I didn't use that one. I didn't know exactly how it works. So I just didn't.
So that can make it for like boss fights because it doesn't stop. Because the stat boosts are temporary, but they're permanent for the fight. So, like, say you do access, and you do access, and then you do the ultimate move, which makes him revert back to human. Then you work your way back up to access, so you get.
No fight's going to last that long.
I mean, but you
there's not even hidden bosses that are going to last that long.
But there are, because there are ways, because you can use skills and items to force carrots, or whatever, to forcibly boost your level up.
That's a roundabout way of playing them.
That's people's strategy, because there are strategies people play, to try to like only which makes the gameplay. But there's ways to do it. And then another one is mainly for your magic users, but you can decrease the amount of FP cost for skills as well and stuff like that. So like these skills are amazing. Every single one of them is worth getting. But I think even if you hit level 99, you can't get everything. So you do have to specifically build out your character. And I don't think there's a way to respec. I think if you use a skill,
there might be.
I don't think there is. I think if you use a skill, you've burned that bridge. There's no way to be a drawback. But like so, while we're talking about force and stuff like that, everyone has their own signature move. Like we did, like Brad's is very similar to Rudy in one. We have lock on, which guarantees 100% accuracy for whatever move he uses. And then he has a couple of other ones that are. Look, I think everybody's level 2 is the same. It's called Combine. You don't get access to it until you get Tim, but it allows them at level 2 to use a summon. But the only people who should be doing any summons are Tim and Lilka, because it's directly tied to
just Tim.
Mostly Tim, but Lilka can help.
She has a loose connection. He's like it's his whole plot line.
But it's magic damage. Mm-hmm.
And summons are they look cool, but they're just
ultimately useless. I did cast every summon once just to see it.
I did not. I forgot to do that because
some of them have really cool abilities, and some of the strategies in for the secret bosses were like, oh, have Tim do this ability. It's called Tri Laser, which lets everyone take 3 turns back to back, and you can stuff like that. Yeah. And then basically you can win in turn 1, beat the secret boss or whatever without the boss ever getting a turn and crap like that. But then he had...
You're going your Ulysses off?
I'm not going to, yeah. But I just want to say, because everyone had Combine. And then, of course, there are magic ones that were... basically, the main thing she gets is Lilka gets is dual cast, where she casts 2 spells at the same time.
Hers is that item one where that's how she gets the that heal orb item you get, where she can use that heal orb item infinitely.
Oh yeah, because that was Jane used that in Ultra Code F, but in Wild Arms 1 it was the girl.
I forget what it's called. That's the same name.
It's called Mystic.
That's right.
Where you cast, you can use an item to cast a spell, and there's a thing called a life orb or whatever, which fully heals your party.
Yeah, there was a trophy tied to that, a mysticking. There was like certain items that had a special effect.
Yeah.
I think it was, and you was like 10 of them, and you mystic on them to get the trophy for that one.
Mm-hmm. And then, like I said, I'm not going to go into, like I said, everything, because the only thing Tim really did, he has the same stuff, but he had something called like High Combine, which was just a
powered up version of
the summons, yeah. And so on and so forth. And then one of them, for canon, her things were the more you used her skill, there's a chance of comboing and learning another skill. Yeah. And so that was really it. Mm-hmm.
Again, her trophy was to learn some of them, not all of them, which is crazy. This trophy list was like not learn everything, just do enough to move on.
Do most of it.
Do most of it, and then I was like, what a cool trophy list. Do just enough that you got your fill, and then move on. Because that's what I did. Because canon was never part of. I never used canon, and I never used Marvel except for the hidden bosses.
Exactly.
I used a whole lot of Tim instead of Lilka.
Yeah, early on, and then by once you get that orb and stuff like that. Yeah. So there's the characters, and a couple of their abilities. Most of them are pretty good, but like I said, at the rate the game goes, and you start breaking your characters, you stop really needing to even use the force abilities half the time.
Yeah. I mean, every boss comes down to just access.
Yeah.
You can play differently if you want to.
Well, because like I said, it is called Wild Arms, and between Brad and Ashley, you do get, each one gets like 8 or 10
so many
arms, like a little too much.
Mm-hmm. And they could be upgraded at the arm shop.
Yeah, they get upgraded, I think 5 or so times.
10.
Is it 10 times? Okay, so yeah, they could be, they're stupid powerful.
Mm-hmm.
But there is they can be upgraded up to 10 times, but there is, like I said, once you use can you reset those upgrades? I don't think.
When you pick I think maybe you can pay money to reset them, but I don't know.
Yeah.
We had something we were reading that was telling us like each weapon maybe what to do.
Yeah, like
I spent a whole lot of money upgrading these things that I was almost never using.
By the end of the game, I had them all maxed out because I had the items and stuff. And when I got to the point too where I was like, oh, okay, well these are so powerful now that I don't have to wait to use axes. I can win the fight sooner.
You can use it with whatever weapons Brad's using sometimes.
Yeah, have Brad whip out like lock on, and then have him cast his biggest one, or have him do double arm and click his most powerful one. Just have it go off twice because there was like what?
Did he have lock on or did Ashley have lock on?
He had lock on. Ashley had
accelerate maybe.
We guaranteed him going first. The next following.
I always went first anyway.
Well, I think he guaranteed you could pick someone to go first. So you would cast access, or you'd cast accelerator, but then you'd cast accelerator on Brad, who always went last.
No, that's not how it worked.
Oh, I can't remember.
Specifically on Ashley, but I don't remember. I thought maybe he had, because he has an accuracy issue in a lot of his weapons. I thought maybe he had lock on. I don't remember.
But you can boost the accuracy of all the arms with the stuff you do.
The upgrades, yeah.
But his main thing was doing full clip. So you only wanted to boost the ammo rate on all of his skills, because then you would fire the entire clip in a single blast, and that's how you broke it. Yeah. I think we've kind of talked about the characters and everything enough and their skills. You wanted to get into like maybe the base.
Talk about the plot
story a little bit.
If you have a plot synopsis at all?
Give me just a quick second.
It's your hero's journey. When some bad guys some friends become bad guys and stuff like that. Yeah.
When a terrorist organization called Odessa tries to conquer the world, an international anti-terrorist group called ARMS is forced to combat them. ARMS recruits several heroes to help them, including Ashley, a gunfighter, Lilka, a teenage sorceress, and Brad, a former war hero. And they are all, it's all ran by that dude, Valencia. Mm-hmm. Valentino, whatever his name was.
Yeah, who actually turns bad. Mm-hmm. Spoilers.
But what?
Or has been bad the whole time.
It's iffy. I don't think he's necessarily bad because like the whole thing comes out he does a bad thing but for a good reason ends up him,
I guess. So this stuff is
Irving Valencia, that's his name.
Yeah, Irving, that's the name. Yeah. So I feel like a lot of this is somewhat hard to follow because it wasn't like this in Wild Arms 1 or Ultra Code F. PlayStation era RPGs are sometimes known for poor translations. And I would say Wild Arms 2, didn't realize it much as a kid when I played it, but playing Wild Arms 2 as an adult, this translation is like, I don't know, 60 or 70% a mess.
It can be rough.
I'm literally having to read. One, the font is terrible. That's not the translator's fault. The font in this game is terrible.
Yeah, I don't like it's so fuzzy.
It's so fuzzy. But the worst part is having to read a sentence 3 or 4 times and figure out what they were trying to say in the sentence. I warned you. I played it first. I had to warn you about this. You didn't mention it much off the pod, but like I feel like there's a lot of times you had to like you read a sentence and you're like, okay, read it again. Got it. I think I know what they're trying. But there's a lot of that. Yeah. There's like it's we're talking like every third sentence. Like I don't know what they're saying. You have to like read it again and again and again, and that's exhausting. Mm-hmm. Exhausting.
Piece it together.
And character personalities and stuff, like it seems like everybody has a bit of a personality except for Ashley. He's not silent. He has
hero syndrome.
He has he's drowning in hero syndrome.
I'm gonna save the day no matter what I do.
Yeah, he has these terrible hero lines and stuff like that. So Ashley's just a like what do you call a
white knight? Not even, he's just
what's that thing you called Rocky and Power Rangers?
Oh, he's a
dial tone. Ashley's a bit of a hero dial tone. He's really bland, has nothing to add to any plot line. Luca and Brad have plot. I mean, Brad's a war hero. Like he has his whole plot lines. There's a good chunk of the game that's just about Tim.
Honestly, Tim's the main character.
More or less. That's just a big chunk of it. It's just straight up about him. Yeah. Cannon's whole thing is she's like comes from is it a family of demon hunters or something like that?
Her lineage is
like these
swords of Magus.
Yeah, they are hunting. They literally hunt. I don't know. Is it all demons or specifically that demon? All demons. So she's actually like. Ashley convinces her to not murder him right away because you fight her a couple of times before she joins you.
3 times. Yeah.
And then he's like, okay, well, I need you to come along with me. So if I turn bad, you can just kill me. And she's like, fine, I'll do that. And then that's the end of her plot line.
Yeah. So she just tags along.
After that, she tags along. It's like the Amarant in Final Fantasy 9. Yeah. You wrap up his plot line so early and then he's just there the rest of the game in Final Fantasy 9, you know?
And same thing goes with, Pinello in like 12.
She's really?
Like, I'm just coming along because Vaughn.
Yeah, so it's kind of like that. Well, once you wrap up her little she's going to hang out there until the demon comes out. That she has no more plot. This is the thing in RPGs.
It does happen.
And Marvel has the little bit the minor story attached to where she's at.
The original like hero of ages,
something like that. So she's attached to that. There's some flashbacks.
It's like the line that what's her face Canon is descended from.
Yeah.
Her great ancestor was actually not even a great ancestor. It's just like 500 years ago or 1,000 years ago.
It's a great.
It's a couple of them, yeah.
Anyway, thing is, it's a really hard game to keep track of what's going on. I think it's hard. It's good. Thankfully, the story is not that complex. You said bad organization, good organization. The good guy in your organization has actually been bad the whole time. Kind of is what I gather. Irving, you saw Irving did a bad thing, Irving turns on you.
He turns on you near the end of the game, but for a good reason,
I guess. Like you tell me, because I was having a hard time just translating each sentence.
Well, probably the craziest thing he did is I'm pretty sure he and his sister banged.
Is that in the game?
Yeah, because I have a line of dialogue here closer to the end of the game because he has to sacrifice his sister to be a vessel for the demon, but they do it together to this thing because her name's Altitia. But it says right here, okay, I took 3 screenshots because I'm like, I wanted to read it. I'm pretty sure they banged.
Of course, you found the banging screenshots or the sentences.
Yeah, so this is
the only screenshots Blake took of the entire game.
No, I took a couple of different ones. But this is a lot. This is Altitia. Will I be able to fight with you, elder brother? May I be?
There you go. Yeah.
May I be by your side always. And he says, I want you to bear my sins with me, Altissia. And then the final thing, the screen fades to black, and they're embracing. And then the screen fades to black, and then across the black screen, Altissia says, I have never felt closer to my brother than I do tonight.
Oh, that's weird, but yeah.
Yeah, and he was like overprotective of his sister and stuff like that, which is fine to be overprotective of your sister, but like just that scene, she's like, will we be together always? And he's like, yeah, bear my sins with me.
I think you're reading too deeply into that.
I don't think so, because then she becomes the mother of demons, and he's inside her as the vessel, and then you have to kill both of them to save the world. It's weird, and I think they might have. I honestly think that they might have. It's weird. And then there's a cool thing, because he has been your friend, and at the very end he's like, I'm still your friend, kill us. I'm the only thing. He's like, I'm strong enough with my sister to keep this thing at bay. I need you to deliver the final blow. And then you guys are all walking out. Yay, we saved the world. And then like, here's a line from Ashley, right here. It's like, Ashley, they're like, everyone's like, yeah, we won. He's like, we didn't win or lose. It's just over. We finished. Because
that's actually a pretty decent line.
Yeah.
Is that the verbatim?
The verbatim is Ashley goes, we did not win or lose. ... It's just over. Finished. Because that was good.
The writing in the game is really bad. That's an awesome. I'll give that's an awesome.
That's like literally like one of the last lines of dialogue. But like after you beat, because you guys are walking out of the.
I don't remember that line at all. That's
a good. That's why I literally rewound so I could replay it and take a screenshot of it, because it was really
good line.
It's a really good line from Ashley. Like of all the, I'm a hero. Let's go save the day. Like he's just like, we're heroes. Like it's like, you know. Like it's finally to that point where he wants to be the hero, and Brad's telling him like, being a war hero is not what you think it is, little boy.
Yeah. It's
awful. Yeah. He's like, the stuff that I've done for my country and to save people's lives it's awful. I'll never be able to redeem myself. But Ashley's like, well, I
just missed that line completely because I was just struggling to.
Yeah, but I thought
that's a good pull. That's a really good line.
I thought that was really good. And then I don't think I have any other lines. I have like a description of Lord Blazer, and that's really about it. And trying to because the game does like a plot twist thing, because you do the majority of the game going against Odessa.
We should mention, I don't know if you have their name. It is a rogues gallery of baddies.
Yeah, I have like
these 4 baddies, and you straight up kill these fools.
Oh yeah, and violently.
They're not like just like, oh, I'll get you next time. Like, no, you actually kill these people.
Yeah. So
no, one shoots himself.
Yeah.
After losing to you, like he literally blows his brains out.
There's you got Tim. Hold on, I'm scrolling down to get to where I need to be. Okay, so you have the main 5. You have Vinsfield, who is the leader of Odessa, and then his generals, which are what's that? Antenora, Cana, Judica, and Ptolomia.
All those names are just like
they're nonsense. Honestly.
Nonsense names that don't mean nothing to me. But I remember the people.
Yeah. So one of the big things, because like it's about 3/4 of the game you're going against.
Yeah, fight them
against Odessa.
They're somewhere. You go there to stop them. You fight one of them. You don't kill them right away.
You fight a boss, or you fight them
multiple times.
And then like near the end, because they're charging up this super weapon, this super secret ultimate weapon, which ends up being literally just it's being a nuclear warhead from olden times is what it ends up being. But they're trying to charge up this weapon and to launch the nuke. But you go to these 4 Diablo towers, was what they're called, and each one's called Tower Cana, Tower Judica. It's because it's what their goal is to defend this tower against you guys no matter what. And then each one you go to, Antenora just dies. Just you kill them, they die, no big deal. Then Cana actually gets sucked into another dimension and disassembled. Mm-hmm. Judica, after you beat him, he's the one who he's like he pulls out a gun and shoots himself.
He literally pulls out a gun and blows.
You hear the gun, the screen kind of has a red flash, and like everyone like just kind of flinches a little bit, and then you just keep on walking out the door. And then Ptolomia is the only one. He's like the older guy. I think he and Brad were like in the same war, but on opposite sides. And so he and Brad, he's a grizzled veteran, and he and Brad have an understanding. And once you beat him, he's the only one who's like, I fought for what I believed in, and so did. He's like, what is it? I think he says our beliefs have clashed, and you came out the victor, and he just kind of falls over and dies.
Yeah.
You know, he was pretty chill. And then of course, everything happens. Vinsfield runs away because the game is disc 1 and disc 2. But most of the game is on disc 1 because after
I forgot that because we had a more digital,
Because once you beat the discs and once you beat all those towers, you guys are on this thing called the Heimdall Gazo, which is the tower that's going to launch the nuke. You guys are on there. Ashley gets everybody off, but sacrifices himself to make sure the thing self-destructs. And when he dies, and because of his connection with Blazer and that sword, which caused him to be possessed by Blazer, he then meets the ancestor, the person who originally wielded the sword and is the ancestor of cannons. And there's a whole thing.
Flashback thing. Well, not a flashback. He's like in the other... He's in other dimension. Or whatever.
He's in a whole other...
So where's the plot line where Brad, quote unquote, dies for a little while? He comes back out of nowhere, and remember that his big heroic reentry? He shoots this ship out of the sky with a railgun.
Hold on. Oh, right here. It's actually before you go to this place, because you said also Vinsfield, which is Odessa's ringleader, is actually Brad's old commanding officer. And then you go to Slayheim Castle, which has a really banger soundtrack. I actually noted Slayheim Castle banger soundtrack. So the Slayheim Castle, we have to try to find that. It says when you go to Slayheim, which is where Brad's...
What a cool name.
Yeah, that's Brad's kingdom. That's the army he worked for. He dies there.
Quote unquote. He
dies. And then after you're there, he dies getting you guys the information of the super secret weapon being a nuke that they stole from Slayheim's arsenal. And then you go through all this stuff. And then you go through a whole, 2 dungeons, I think, and then they activate the ship, the Heimdall Gazo. They activate it, and it flies off, and then as it's flying, it's going to destroy you guys. It's activated its weapons, and it's because it's fully charged. And then Brad comes out of nowhere with the railgun and blasts a laser beam straight through it, damaging all of their ship, and that's why they have to fly off. And then they go all to the towers to recharge up the ship to launch the final attack. Yeah. But there's a part where Brad's dead for a little while. But like I said, the story is pretty for the most part.
You're hitting a couple of highlights, makes it sound really good. We're glazing over all the times it's really really hard to read.
Well, yeah, and then there's these 2 characters that end up.
Got to talk about them, Liz and Ard.
Yeah,
I stopped reading their dialogue.
I did too. I was like,
I stopped reading it.
Liz and Ard are these 2 lizard folk, if you can't tell by their names. One is thinks he's smart. He's a con man who thinks he's smart. And then he has a silent dude who's just super strong.
So this dialogue is gibberish.
They're just dullards. I read it.
You try reading it, it's gibberish.
It's them trying to be funny, and maybe they're endearing. Maybe if it was voiced, but just reading it, I'm like, I hate this. I hate those interactions never added. I would just
you fight them multiple times, and they have a hidden. I think their last part's hidden. Mm-hmm. They have a hidden ending, which we hunted down to do, but did not like them. I guess you think they're supposed to be funny. I think I swear that dialogue is just nonsense. He just talks and talks and talks. I think they just took a grab bag of words and threw it into the game because it doesn't make any kind of sense.
Yeah, I did not.
I literally, it's the only part in the game that I literally quit when they show up. I'm not.
They have a special little theme, and I was like, nope.
I'm just not reading this. I'm not reading it anymore. Get to the fight where I fight y'all.
Yeah. One of the cool things, there is some fast travel things. There's the satellite warping points, just like in Wild Arms 1. They don't call them the Elfheim whatevers. But there's you bounce around the satellites and there's warping, but those are pretty cool. Hated Liz and Ard. Trying to think.
We said there is those teleporting. There's just walking on the maps. You have to find the towns, kind of like in Wild Arms Ultra Code.
Search mechanic.
That's there.
And that also finds hidden items on the map too sometimes.
Yeah. Then there's you get the castle, Irving's little castle.
The Valeria Chateau.
Yeah, launches up out of the side of the mountain, and it
kind of like Balam Garden.
Kind of like Balam Garden. Maybe it's not visually as cool, but it's pretty neat.
It flies.
It's limited. It can only land in certain places, which is kind of cool. Mm-hmm. And eventually, the main thing that people would maybe if you played it when you were a kid is is it Lombardia? Lombardia is this jet thing, this dragon jet thing.
Oh yeah, Lombardo.
Lombardo.
I forget what
Lombardo.
it is.
Lombardia is like a dragon that becomes your airship that can land. Well, it can't land in forest and water, but it can land everywhere else.
Okay, I got it right here. It's yeah, the Lambodria, Lambodria, and it's a transforming dragon airship.
Yeah, pretty cool. Kind of out of place.
Yeah, it also comes in real late in the game.
Yeah, you mostly spend most of the time using the teleport orb.
It's
It's weird because you get the little teleporting stones and you get the orb almost immediately.
fairly quickly.
Like
yeah.
right after, like I had stockpiled a bunch of the gems, and then like the next thing I got was the teleport orb. I was like, oh, I guess I'll just sell these. But most of the time you'll spend just unless you're going somewhere new, if you're traveling around doing quests, you'll just be teleport orbing to all the towns and stuff you've been to. And I think does the dragon follow you when you teleport, or does he stay?
He follows you.
There's a boat too.
There's a boat.
There's a boat for just the water part. So it's like any RPGs. It kind of worked its way up work your way up to like moving better and better until
And then you have like the chateau, but it can only fly to like certain towns and stuff. But
it
then
has like 3 landing spots in the whole map. That's
There's something I wanted to bring up before, because I know we've kind of bounced all over the place.
Yeah.
And
what game's too big to really.
But there's 2 things I want to click on real quick. Then there might be more, but I don't understand the game's obsession with you naming stuff.
Yeah.
There's okay, so you have to in Brad's story, Brad's prologue rather. There's a little dog, a little puppy that you help, and you name the puppy. In Ashley's, there are 3 boys in his hometown, and you name each of the boys, and they're not Tim, they're just 3 little hooligans that eventually sneak onto your ship and open up an item shop. Oh no, 2 of them are friends with Tim, and then the other one is Tim himself. And of course you can name all the main characters. Yeah. You change their names too. So my bad. So it's 2 boys and Tim. And then also in that same town, you name the innkeeper's daughter, which ends up being Ashley's love interest, who hates the line of work that he's in and wants him to just be a stay-at-home. He's like, I can't, I'm a hero. And, they have their own ins and outs and not exactly. I mean, eventually, I guess it's happy, but they're not happy half the time because she's like, you're only happy being the hero. And he's like, no, I'm not. He's like, yeah, I am. But neither here nor there. And then besides that, you do have to name...
every single guardian, don't you have to name the guardians?
No.
Is that not this game?
That's not this game. You name Irving's sister. Actually, you can name Irving and his sister.
So confusing.
And then there is another. They're called pillars, the mediums. There's another one in the medium village. It's another girl who's like in league. She's like training against him because she's supposed to be the next medium, not knowing that because he was from the village, but like his mom ferried him away because he was part of his storyline, similar to everybody who's ever been a summoner or a medium for the earth, is to be sacrificed to the guardians to protect the earth. His mom found out about that, took him away, and so the village selected this girl. You can name that girl. And then there is a magic pupil in Lilka's hometown that you can name for no reason. They have like one story event. He's the star magic pupil. He's the guy who like reads the stars and like tells you some coordinates. And then also in Brad's, is it Brad? Because there's a little girl you help in Brad's story, and you find one of his old war buddies who's kind of like catatonic. You can name the war buddy. It's like, why am I naming so many things? Just call this dude John, call that little girl Jill. I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care about naming all these people. Yeah. I guess it's supposed to help like pull you into the story so you get more attached to these characters. But you name so many people, it's ridiculous. Mm-hmm. And then, yeah. But then there's a really cool, funny thing how the game starts. Because I think you get to pick the prologues just like you do previously, but it's just do them in order. Is part of Ashley's is really funny because he's a ranger. They're just this group of like local militia trying to save things. With you, the game starts with Ashley, and you're going in to beat up these kidnappers to save a kid. And the whole point that it's kind of like it starts on like a jovial note because these kidnappers kidnapped one of these kids, which is a boy you name. But they're like, yeah, we're gonna get a ransom for this kid. And then like they're like, yeah, we sent a note to the town, we're gonna get a ransom. And the kid, whatever you name him, he's like, you guys realize that I'm an orphan. I don't have parents. No one's gonna pay your ransom. And they're like, what? what? What do you mean? And then, like, by the time they realize that, then Ashley kicks down the door and beats all their butts. But the game starts on a jovial note and then slowly turns to the other thing. Because after everything, you do the whole thing. You end up fighting against Odessa. And then one of the last things you do is when you launch that nuke, Vinsfeld is like, we were trying to hold back the enemy. And you're like, what?
That's a classic trope.
It's that classic JRPG thing. Is they were coming together to fight their Odessa's whole goal was, by any means necessary, unite the world under one flag to be united against the oncoming demon threat. Which has a name called the Stain Paradigm, which is going to slowly work its way.
Yeah, I don't recall that at all. That's just you get to this JRPG nonsense.
This last half of the game gets weird.
Yeah, it's just like I say, you get to the JRPG weeds on what's happening.
Yeah. Because, like I said, Ashley, and there's a whole pointless thing that I hated. It doesn't happen immediately, but it happens kind of often. Where there's Lilka is in love with Ashley, and it's so
weak. It's like it's not even.
I mean, and just the age difference and everything. You're like, Ashley has a girl of age that he's with.
She's just supposed to. It's just like it's there just to give Lilka dialogue.
Yeah,
like it's so weak.
Because she's like, I like you. Oh, I can't. I mean, she has like moments like by herself. And
he has zero interest.
Yeah, and she's like,
he couldn't be less.
Yeah, he's like,
he's barely interested in the girl at home. Like you don't care about her at all.
And then you go from, because like Ashley's like in his 20s.
Yeah,
he's like 21.
Sure ain't 14.
He's like 21. Brad's like 36, and Lilka's like 16. So he has no interest. Like I said, he barely has interest in the woman who he's back at home who wants him, and let alone some young girl. And it's a pointless dialogue. I hated it. And then because that's when it starts getting all weird. The parallel universe, Larva, Kepler's belt.
JRPG stuff. Yeah, he just goes way off the deep end, that's not a bad thing. This is very typical. Like every. I mean, let's say Final Fantasy IX of the same era. Final Fantasy IX will do the same thing. Just jump right off the deep end at the end of the game, just because who cares? Like let's just kill a monster.
Yeah, it gets and then there's a whole, like I said, I'm reading here because I have all the ending stuff. So it says that Irving and his sister become the vessel for the interdimensional being. He is fully aware as you kill him. He is holding back. And then I have the quote, we didn't win or lose. It's just over, finished. There is an epilogue to the game where the game does jump a full year, and it comes back to the anniversary of everything. And everyone's kind of like just there. Like I think Tim's dating the other girl, and Ashley's late, and everyone's like, where are you at? And Ashley finally shows up with the girl, and he actually has twins. And it's like, oh, the world starts anew, and the hero of the ages now has kids, and it's like cue credits. And this shows I took my time here. I beat the game. According to my time in game was 47 hours and 26 minutes.
Oh, I just have my PlayStation website, which mine was 47:29 according to True Trophies.
According to True Trophies, mine was like 55.46, but that's also like maybe because that's not counting the rewinds and stuff like that either. So your time may be a little less than that.
Yeah,
because I only counted that's the game time. But like I said, it gets a little nonsensical, like a lot of JRPGs do when they near the end, because there's always the greater bad guy. I enjoyed the ride. I hate Liznard. I like everyone because the main three are good. Tim is good, and honestly, like I said, Tim is technically the main character
for a good chunk.
For the story revolves around him, the medium, just like how it revolved around the girl. What's her name? Cecilia. In the first one, that she's the medium, the pillar of the world. Except for
the last boss of this is Lord Blazer.
Yeah,
it's like an unlosable set piece boss battle. But Ashley turns into whatever, he merges with whatever the other chick was, and
he merges and starts using the sword. Where to go? I have it here. Her name's Anastasia. Is the hero of ages, and it ends up being Anastasia Valencia. So it turns out that Valencia and Canon are related. Through bloodline, they're cousins or something, and he knows this, and she knows this, but no one else knows it until like later in the game. And then there's a whole for whatever it does that it's called the Sword of Magus, and it ends up being called the hold on, what's that? How do you pronounce that word? Antithalium.
I have no idea.
Yeah, it's a weird. A lot of these names are kind of hard to pronounce, and it comes from, I think some of these names are. It feels like it's like a Japanese game, but they're using like German names to like make things sound cooler sometimes.
That could have been on the.
And it also could have been the translation errors and stuff too. So maybe there's like maybe certain letters, certain words didn't need to have 2 or 3 different names. I do have a stupid joke here. Because at one point, in order to bring you back, Lilka has gone to a thing, because as part of her tutorial, she's trying to find her lost sister who died.
You vanished, didn't she?
Yeah, and you go into the Millennium Puzzle, and I was like, oh, it's nothing to do with Yu-Gi-Oh! Ha ha ha. I'm retarded. But yeah, honestly, I think I've covered everything I really want to talk about.
Yeah, we got the gist of like the combat, the world, the
like
wacky story.
Besides the battle music's always fun, and the Blazers theme, and I have here specifically the Slayheim Castle. And then there's another little ditty that I thought was kind of fun, and it was in the Valeria Chateau, had like a silly little xylophone number, like ding 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 ding. It's like a little.
You can find it. To give
I'll see if I can find them.
Give the names to Brian in the group chat.
But I think
Yeah.
the random thing is what ARMS, because ARMS always has like a different acronym. The ARMS acronym for this is the Agile Remote Mission Squad, which is ARMS. But yeah, but I think that I think I've hit all the key points.
Yeah.
Without...
So did you? So I guess let's. So what do you think of this? Now that we're like 3 games into the franchise, how do you think this one sits with the other 2? I think I like Wild Arms 1, PS1. Remember who listened to the podcast? I just couldn't get through Alter Code F.
Yeah.
You played all the way through. I don't know. So Alter Code F just wasn't landing for me.
It's more
after you talked about Alter Code F, I was like, maybe I should have played it all the way through.
Yeah.
I think when it comes, and I don't know if it's just nostalgia's poison. I feel like the look and the vibe and just everything about Wild Arms 1, the PS1 version, I think it's more interesting than this in a way, or maybe it could be because it was easier to read it. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I just feel like Wild Arms 1 is maybe a slightly better game.
I think I like 2 more.
Yeah. Of the three you've played so far?
Of the 3 of everything that I've played, because it's stuff that it's funny how it goes, because there's stuff that they did into with like the skills, like, oh, we're gonna do the same thing in Alter Code F, but we're gonna mess it up.
Yeah. And
let it be skills that you can equip and customize and bounce around. I was just like, I didn't like that as much. And
at least you still had, we forgot to mention, you still have weapons and armor in Wild Arms 2.
Yeah,
it's Alter Code F that drops everything.
It drops. Yeah, you have one weapon, and it's entirely built on skills. And if I'm playing an RPG,
What at least weapons and armor?
I need weapons and armor and accessories, so I can customize. I need a little bit of customization.
Mm-hmm. All that's dropped out of Ultra Code F.
And the good thing it does do is the individuality of the character. Mm-hmm. That some RPGs don't do that, where there's like everyone can do everything, or you can get everyone to be able to do everything, and these characters have their strengths and their weaknesses, and that's that. That also sometimes means where you're like, well, I'm not going to use canon, and I'm not going to use Marvel. I'm going to use the two big boy hitters.
You don't have to. And you don't have to.
But yeah.
So you see, like 2 of the 3 so far.
Of the 3 so far,
even with the rough translation, you've enjoyed 2 the most.
I think 2. As far as like dungeons and stuff like that, there was some stuff in 2 that was
the fireball stuff, man.
Yeah,
we can't. We didn't. We're going to talk in circles and super whine about it. Some really bad fireball puzzles, like
because one of the ones I remember specifically, it's admittedly optional, is going to the guardian locations and speaking to the guardians and getting the talismans. You don't have to do that, but hers is. It makes sense that it was the wind one, but I think it was either the wind or the lightning one. But it's the one where, like you said, you have to go through, you have to hit these. Of course, there's rocks in the way, so you have to like sprint between the rocks, because there's not a straight line between you and the fire things. Mm-hmm. But you have to light, it's like 2 torches, 3 torches, 4 torches. It's rooms. But you have to light them before the wind shoots by and blows out all the torches. So you're on like a timer, without a timer really being over your head, but you can hear the wind building up in your headphones and stuff like that. And that was probably because like some of hers were annoying. You have to like sometimes you had to blind fire. You had to like angle it, but she had to be off screen because you had to shoot the fireball there and then turn around and shoot the other fireball. But it's better to just have you like blind fire off screen in a straight line. Mm-hmm. But the wind thing was probably the most annoying thing in the game. Yeah. It's not often.
Close second would be the there's fewer of them, but would be the earthquake. There's like 2 earthquake puzzles.
You literally use earthquake and hold down sprint. I didn't like the earthquake stuff, but yeah earthquake was probably my least favorite because of the fireball things I could kind of handle a little better.
There's a lot more fireball puzzles than there are earthquake puzzles. Yeah.
But yeah, that's one of the things I forget in between playing the wall alarms is that, like you said, the running around and making fights cool. The dungeons are cool and elaborate, but every dungeon is a puzzle. Yeah, that's the wall arms thing. I forget about that. I don't know if that sticks with the rest of because the rest of the franchise will see. That's my least favorite thing. It is cool. It's also the most unique thing about wall alarms is the tool system, because no other RPG does tools that I can remember. Mm-hmm. Well, some of them have like a single tool, because I remember like in what game was that? It's Tales of Symphonia, way back when, which you have a little ring that you can blast, and you can change the element of the ring to whether you put a fireball out, you light a fireball. Like it's way looser than this. It's just a single mechanic to try to get through some of these puzzles. As far as having every single character has 3 unique things that allow them to. Oh, the other thing I was looking at too for the flare gun, it does light up areas to make so you can get through like darkened areas without falling off. Yeah. The other thing that you very dark areas, but it's like 1 or 2. The other thing is that you shoot switches on the ceiling, like once or twice, probably. Yeah. But I think that covers it. Overall, we've talked a little bad about it, but the ride is fun, and if I'm playing it depends on the game. Sometimes if I'm playing an RPG, I really want the story to be good, but then I know that a lot of these JRPGs get wonky. Like the joke for everyone who plays JRPGs is like, oh, your first mission, let's go save the kitty cat from the forest for the village, the little girl in the village, and then the last thing you do is you fight God. Mm-hmm. That's the joke for all JRPGs, because unfortunately that's how a lot of them end. Mm-hmm. You start out like a small quest, and then like they have to keep ramping up the severity of what's going on, and you usually end up fighting God or a godlike entity, or an interdimensional being that wants to be birthed into our world through the pregnant belly of an incestuous relationship. Maybe I don't know for certain, but it really seems like it. But that's all JRPGs in. Blake just wants more incest in games. Censorship is wrong. But that's neither here nor there. I don't have I'm bad at the
writing anything for my review, like review. We're not a review podcast, but my rating, I might have sat at a 6 for a little while, but I think talking about the game and like generally enjoying it,
hitting the good points. Because there are a lot of good points.
I think this sits at I think it sits at a good 7 for a JRPG. It'll never get it, but a retranslation, a rewriting of the story could bump it up. The gameplay and everything's great. The combat's fine. Is it too easy? I mean, we like easy. Most people are too cool and too badass to like, oh, I think it's too easy. I can't. It's just too easy for me. I can't play it. I need to get my butt pounded for 40 hours straight. Otherwise, I can't, live, but like whatever the game. Yeah. Wild Arms 2 is easy, but it's perfectly fine. It's fun. Like I enjoyed the, 40 whatever hours I spent with it. I won't be rushing back to do it again. Like it's like, this is part of our little thing of playing games when we were kids. It's just kind of like,
and in this case,
this holds to this.
This was not nostalgia is poison. This actually held up almost. I mean, like I said, just some dungeons and stuff that like, just because I'm old and I was like, I want to try to play the game, not solve puzzles because I hate puzzles.
Yeah.
But it does hold up. It is a solid game.
I don't know the release time, but like I think this game is far less irritating than Legend of Dragoon. Yeah. Legend of Dragoon gets so much more praise over this game. And again, I mention it every time I mention Dragoon. Play past the first disc of Dragoon and see if you still like that game. Like, Dragoon doesn't hold up like you think it does. People really love that first disc of a 4-disc game. That game doesn't hold up, man. But I enjoy this. Like I said, I was thinking a 6, but I'll give it a 7 because our conversation kind of like when you highlight the good things. And the translation of a JRPG with a lot of dialogue, I imagine, was a very difficult job, and they were given mere months to do it usually back then. Yeah. It's way different. Now you have teams. Back then it was like literally one guy sitting in front of a computer for like, it's like, dude, you've got 60 days, you've got 30 days to translate this whole JRPG.
And he was like, guys, I only took a half a semester of Japanese in college. They're like, make it work, dude.
Yeah, so that's what I mean, not too far. Like their time frame was crunched.
And they have to fit. Because like
fit the text inside the boxes.
Yeah, kanji, you can make one kanji can mean 3 or 4 different words. Yeah. But you have to you can't make the text box bigger, so they have to shrink it down, summarize.
Yeah. People forget how hard that stuff can be because people get used to like great translations, like supposedly the best translations of JRPGs tend to be the Persona games. So there's no, but they have whole teams like working on that kind of stuff. But anyway, I'm sure I'll go like a high 6 to a 7 maybe for Wild Arms 2.
Did you have a fun little thing to throw on?
No, because I always forget to think about that kind of stuff. Which is gonna be like 7 times this sister kissed her brother.
No, because you don't actually see any of it.
Fortunately.
Yeah.
Why'd that screen black out, man? Why is it blocking the good stuff?
I just thought it was like I was like reading it and I was just like, oh man, I'm uncomfortable reading this. But I feel you.
Yeah, you renamed the 2 characters Cersei and
Jamie.
Jamie. That's what you named them in your game.
I didn't know it was going to be like that at the end, but now you could replay throughs. God. Okay. Like I said, I do agree. It is a product of its time, especially because when we were talking about earlier, the visuals, like it does have a distinct style, and the style does look good.
I think the characters and monsters and stuff like that look better than the world.
Yeah, I guess I can agree with that because characters are very well detailed for their chibi forms and stuff like that. And then of course in combat, everything, all the details and stuff are heightened. I do like all the monster designs were kind of cool.
Especially the bosses. The bosses look super cool.
All the bosses are cool. Now, unfortunately, I can't remember it. The only boss I can remember is Trask. Trask
is a recurring. I think it might be recur across the whole franchise.
I think so. But this one had like Trask and then like Trask again. And then you did Trask 2.0 and he was like half mechanical. You just keep beating the poor thing. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so I'm going to give it, I think it falls in line. I too am going to give it 7. I'll give it 7 Lord Blazers out of 10. I think that's perfectly fine because, like you said, being Lord Blazer, because like you said, you get the power fantasy. You're like, oh no, I'm a demon, but then you get to turn to like basically you get to become like the 6th Ranger. You have a cool little transformation sequence. You turn into a Black Knight with this long flowing red scarf, swords made of like fire or like
lasers.
I don't even know,
like laser swords.
Kinda. They look like Lego laser swords. Honestly, they're like like these little iron rods of fire, and he beats the crap. And then one of the final things you do, if you activate his special, he turns into the Guyver, where he opens up his chest and shoots the laser beam out of it. Like Lord Blazer is cool.
Yeah, very cool.
But so I'm gonna give it 7.
I wish there was more of. We're wrapping up. I wish there was more of it, like taking over Ashley's mind or something like that, like some sort of subtlety to.
It does talk to you sometimes.
Sometimes.
I just kind of wish it was more.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's never really like any point in time where he's like, oh, and Cannon's like, are you there yet? You know, like, are you turning, buddy boy?
Yeah, none of that's there. After they have that conversation, it's never mentioned again.
Yeah. I think close to the end when once Odessa breaks down and like you can see, because the whole sky turns like this crazy rainbow thing, and it's the entire sky for the rest of the game. And like after that point, there's some communications where like Blazer's like a little more like, "Hey, buddy, let's go do some stuff." But I think Ashley is still like, because they've told you, Lord Blazer's a villain. He's like the one. He's one of the worst things to ever come out of the bowels of hell. And Ashley's like, "But I'm gonna use him for good." And he's like, "Yeah, buddy, but we'll use my power for good." He's like, "All right." Like he just bless his heart.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's talk about our next game. Get some people some.
This is for the thing. So for the other parts of the future. So we are our next. We are going to be eventually doing Wild Arms 3. Neither one of us have started Wild Arms 3 yet. There's going to be another. We won't say which. There's going to be another JRPG in between it. Just so y'all know, we haven't played it yet either. There's going to be another JRPG. So the idea is the big series of JRPG, like Wild Arms is the big one, and in between we're picking games that don't have franchises, basically like one-off JRPGs or one-off RPGs of some sort, like As Your Dreams is a one-off. There's no more games in that franchise. I'm not going to spoil the next one. The next one is a sequel to a game we've already talked about, a loose sequel. We'll talk more about that. A game neither one of us have beat. We beat Wild Arms 3 back in the day, or I did. I don't know about you. But the other game we're playing is a game neither one of us have we've dabbled in, and it at the time didn't hold up. We were super judgy. We're trying to approach it open-minded, which Blake's going to play it before me and let me know. Yeah. So that game, whatever it may be, no spoilers, will be coming. It's on our list. It's kind of buried.
It'll be in like 10 episodes from now or something.
Yeah, it's going to be a while.
We played a couple games prior.
We got other games coming up. Anyway, but we are going to continue. There will be another. We'll be continuing the Wild Arms franchise with Wild Arms 3. But our next game to break things up, to keep things from not talking about JRPGs back to back to back to back, which maybe the podcast would be better if we were just focused on a particular genre. Who knows?
I get burnt out having to play RPG back to back. I
for
love RPGs, but
yeah,
I need much.
So to break that up and to go completely in a different direction, we're going to talk about supermassive games as The Quarry. We've talked about them once or twice before. We talked about Man of Medan, I think. I think the podcast wasn't around for Until Dawn.
I don't think so. I'm sure we would have spoken about it.
We would have mentioned it on the Man of Medan. Blake will probably just like with this, have a little bit to say about Supermassive. They're still around, still doing things and stuff like that. Still putting it. They're doing a space game finally. I guess you might want to bring that up. They're doing a space
we'll
game.
See how that goes.
And we talked about Man of Medan and crap like that. So we'll talk about Supermassive a bit, and we'll talk about our experience with The Quarry. I think we played it when it was leaving Game Pass or something like that. But it was interesting enough that I kind of wanted to I wanted to talk about the kind of, I had to refresh my memory, but talk about the characters themselves and kind of the general. I don't know. I said it was the pod. Was The Quarry better than Until Dawn? It's been a long time since I played Until Dawn. We'll save that for the podcast. So with that said, you more folks probably played The Quarry than played Wild Arms too. So if you got any thought, we don't, nobody ever writes to us, but if you have any thoughts about The Quarry or your experience with Supermassive or Until Dawn or any of the Man of or the Dark Pictures games, write it. We'll share on the podcast, but nobody ever writes into us, but you could.
I would definitely play more of the Dark Pictures anthology if they ever put them out on Game Pass.
If they weren't so expensive to play for 3 hours.
Exactly.
So with that said, I want to thank, of course, we always want to thank Jared and the guys of Emerge for letting us use the song "Letting Go" for the podcast. Follow Emerge on social media, or Jared, and whatever, about posting about they're doing shows around all over the place. They're doing some shows right now he's been posting about, so always follow them for the shows. Stream their new music as it comes out. When they put out an album, you'll hear it from us, of course, too, but follow their social medias and buy that album, support them. Put their songs on repeat on Spotify, whatever. Spotify is a really, really bad company, so maybe just buy their album when it comes out. But, at least stream it on Spotify or Apple a bunch of times. So do that for those guys, and just keep sending them love. And we want to thank Milad Markovic, aka Devious.Pixel, for the art for this podcast. We'll have new art for whatever our next guest is. We're not announcing it yet. We have guests. Oh, I spoiled it. 2 guests. Lined up for our next guest episode coming up. We'll have new art for that. Me and Blake are spitballing the art.
I'm probably going to message the person later and try to go ahead and get them to send me a picture,
get it rolling, and the idea. Pitch it back and forth a little bit,
because it's like what, a month from now probably.
Yeah, give or take.
It's better to go ahead and get that ball rolling
from
like a week before going. I haven't messaged Mladen, and he does good work, but
give him more than a week.
Give him more time.
Give him more than a week. Anyway, that's great. The last thing I got, of course, is come to our twitch.tv/2 Smoking Controllers. We've wrapped up Zombie Army 4. It was long and kind of boring. But come hang out. We're gonna dabble. We got a couple of things. We call them in between games. We're gonna try. So where we take a shot. Like Blake says, there's a whole playlist on our YouTube channel of games we tried, where we try to land something that's not our longest. Our longest things are always some sort of Dark Souls, and we're tired of like only playing Dark Souls games all the way to completion.
We suck at them.
We have so many games that we start and don't finish. So there's a whole set there. So we have 1 or 2 games where we have lined up and we've talked about off. Actually, if you listen to the stream, we're probably on the stream talking about it. I don't know. But we got another game. We're playing a new game this Wednesday, but I ain't gonna tell you the game because it doesn't matter, because by the time you hear the episode, it's already happened. So go look at if Blake's posted to our YouTube channel. Whatever game we decided to play will be on that playlist if we like it. Could be 1 or 2 nights, and then Brian's kind of landed on another game for us, another bigger game to try. So there's always new games to play.
There's stuff in the pipeline.
Oh God, I hate stuff in the pipeline.
That's a horrible.
That's all I got. So come check out the Twitch streams and go to our YouTube channel and check out our playthroughs. Because RoboCop Rogue City, Blake's decided to not do a stream to not add to it with unfinished business. He said I'm not going to worry about it. Not going to bother,
because he doesn't do. It's just a prologue where you play as Alex Murphy as opposed to RoboCop. And
there's got to be more RoboCop stuff in it.
Maybe, but I don't know.
It's been pretty well received.
I'm sure it has been, but I'm okay.
It's like how we haven't gone back to like the Dredge DLC. That's just like, and like Dredge is on Game Pass, and we could just like buy the DLC. I'm just like, I don't know, I kind of on the Dredge I wanted, Anyway, that's all I got. So come to the Twitch streams, watch us play games.
For me, a little bit of self-promotion. We do have a brother podcast called Suspension of Disbelief, where me and our good buddy Steve, we just chit-chat about movies. We do a deep dive into each movie. Each episode, we take turns semi-surprising one another with a movie that we don't discuss until the record of the podcast, so our opinion doesn't influence the other. I have a self-published short story on Amazon called They Come This Night. I'm very proud of that. Please check that out, rate that, review that. And I want to wish everybody a good evening and good night.